What is going on, folk? It's NimbleThor here, and welcome back to my mobile gaming quest where I document playing a brand new mobile game every single day from Monday till Friday. And today, we are going to check out BattleHand, which is a fantasy RPG with elements of card collection in there. More on that later. And the game has been published by KONGREGATE. It's been out for quite some time at this point, but I figured that many of you, just like me, had not heard about this game before, so I wanted to share it with you guys today in a video. So in this video, we'll talk about what I like and what I dislike about the game. We'll talk about what I think about the art style, the core gameplay, but most importantly, be sure to stick around to the end of this video where we of course try to conclude as to whether or not I would recommend you guys playing this game, and I bring you the daily mobile gaming news / fact of the day. So let's start out with what I like about this game though. And first of all, is the combat and the skills. As you guys can see, we're playing around with right now. I'm really loving this. We use cards that we can level up as skills, and then we bring two heroes. You guys can see that we brought these two, the mage and then the warrior type hero there, into this battle. Each of these heroes have a certain element, and as you guys can see, some of these enemies here also have elements. Well, they all have elements, but here you can see in the top left corner right now that fire beats green, and these are green, so that's why I brought the fire mage, and I brought the warrior here as well because I wanted him to level up. But we use these cards to attack enemies, and there's a lot of strategy going into which card to use at which point, and then whenever we've used a card, that card is shuffled back into the hero dependent card deck. So that means each hero has a deck of cards that we kind of shuffle through as we play, and then we get them later on again, right? So we keep using cards and we get a random new card. But since there are very few cards per hero that we can equip at the same time, it removes sort of the randomness element of luck, and it adds a bit more strategy to the game because it means we actually really have to know when to use which card, and we kind of know or kind of expect which card to get the next time if we've kind of kept up with which cards we've used so far, because there are so few of them, right? So we know that they get recycled back into our hand pretty quickly. So in that way, the game is highly strategic, and I also like that we get so many different cards that we then have to choose which cards we want to take with us into battle on each of these heroes here. But I'll go show you guys all those fantastic systems later on. One thing you guys might be wondering about is what defines who gets to attack when, and that is pretty simple actually. So there's a number in the top left corner of each skill, and that is the number of turns it'll take before that skill activates, and the opponent also has a number. You guys can see that this septic stinger over there has 3, which means that it takes 3 turns to do an attack. So if we choose an attack here that only takes 1 turn to use, then that means we get to attack first, and we actually get to choose a new skill as well before that spider over there even gets a chance to attack. But instead though, I want to go for this glowing flame, which together with the attack from our wind dagger character here should be able to take out the spider. Let's have a look at it. I guess we can use this one as well just to be absolutely sure. It's a quick attack, and now the opponent only has 34 HP left. We do have one more round though in this battle. Let's see what do we do now. I guess we use it once more. This dagger here once more. It's really great to have these attacks that don't take that long time to use, in combination with some really strong attacks then. And that's sort of the strategy I've been going for here. Okay, so what do we do now, guys? What do we do now? We're pretty low on our warrior there, in terms of HP, so I guess we could try to survive long enough to use the sparking sword here. That one will take out the rat over there in 1 turn, or at least in 1 hit. And then we just have to figure out what do we do to make the warrior survive. Until then, I guess we could do a bubble shield on the warriors. Let's do that right now. Yes, there we go. Awesome. All right. What do we do then? Do we heal up? Yes, let's heal up again. Let's play a bit defensive here at the start of this boss battle here. Let's see. We're on turn 14 right now. All right. To get 3 stars in these battles, by the way, we have to complete them within a specific number of turns. So we gotta be careful not to spend too many rounds beating these guys. What do we want to do now? I think I'm just gonna go attack the one on the right, so at least we'll have taken out the 2 smaller rats pretty quickly. There we go, 103 damage. That's so awesome. What do we do now? Oh, we can actually use a special ability, Holy Sword. Let's use that right now. As you guys can see, it deals a lot of damage, 97 damage to each of those units, which means that the attack of our mage is kind of wasted now because the opponent only has 1 HP left. Here, though, we can just choose to heal up. Let's do that just to be sure that we actually survive. And let's see our wizard taking out that unit over there. And we nearly have the special ability ready on our wizard as well, so we'll definitely win this match. It's just a matter of how long we can survive, really. Let's use this shield here. And let's use You know what? Let's heal up a bit. Let's heal up a bit instead, because another star out of 3 stars that we can get, we get from having enough HP once the battle is over. So we got to make sure that we have enough HP. Okay, now it's time to attack, I think. Let's go attack with both of these characters. The rat will get to attack us once more, but then I'm pretty sure we will have taken it out. Let's have a look at what happens here. As long as we survive. We did survive. I don't think we're going to get 3 stars in this map, though. But we are going to get, at the very least, 1 star. So let's have a look at it. What did we get? We got 1 star, 2 stars. Okay, not too bad actually, 2 out of 3 stars. The graphics, by the way, is another thing that just immediately drew me in. Just look at this screen here. Just a simple screen like this. It just looks amazing. I'm really liking it. And the audio, the music is fantastic as well. Overall, the game is definitely above and beyond the polished standards of mobile games. And the story in the game and the world just overall actually is rather enticing as well. I enjoyed reading the small conversations, and the quests are great helping hand in getting started. And they do tell a fun little story as well. So that's just a small little thing. It's not the main thing and the main reason for me to play the game, but it's quite interesting. Now, though, I want to talk about 2 different things. I want to show you guys how we can upgrade our cards. So if we go in here to battle cards, and then afterwards, I want to tell you about a very unique feature of BattleHand that I actually quite liked before we get to what I dislike. But first of all, though, as I said, let's go in and have a look at these cards here. So we can click Edit Deck here on a wizard, for example, and we can see that we have 3 cards in the bottom that we have not used right now, or that we're not using right now. So these up here instead are the ones we're using, and we can upgrade them if we wanted to. So for example, let's have a look at it. Let's see, we want to upgrade the healing spell probably. It's always great to have some healing, so let's upgrade that. And this gets us to this screen where we can choose some of these other cards. They aren't attack cards, they're just boosters to level up our existing cards. So we can choose some of these. They have different rarity and different element types, but let's just use some of the standard ones here to level up the healing spell here. Let's see, it turns it into level 3 out of 10, so it goes from 40 in healing to 57 in healing. Definitely worth it, and it only cost 400 and something gold, so there's a great investment, I think. Another thing I want to upgrade is this startling heat here, because it has a 20% chance to stun for 4 turns, so it's a really great attack, and I want to go in here and upgrade it using the lantern up here. Let's see, that took it to level 2. Is there another thing we can use? We probably could. We don't have more fire cards, though. So, fire cards are more effective at upgrading other fire cards, right? So we probably don't want to spend any of the others right now, because we need those to upgrade the other elemental types of cards. So let's say that's enough for now, and let's go talk about that feature I hinted at before. And this is really interesting, because listen, I understand that mobile games try to appeal to a very broad audience, and thus they introduce auto systems. We've seen many games introduce auto systems at this point. I'm okay with that, as long as it's done in a very nice way. But most of the time, the auto systems are only there to have us use all our energy, and thus have to rebuy more energy if there's an energy system faster. But we don't have that in this game. Instead, what we have is that we can go into auto battle. Let's just pick... no, actually, let's stick with this guy up here. We can... there we go. We can go into auto battle, as you guys can see. The purple button right there. Let's click that. And now the units will attack automatically, but even with this auto system on, we still have some strategic considerations to take into account. And I'll show you guys that once we get into this level here. So it isn't, well, it is 100% automatic, but you have to go in and set it up for each individual battle. So let's have a look at it. So here you can see how aggressive each of our units should be, right? So if we go too aggressive, we're probably going to die pretty quickly. So we can go more defensive instead by sliding the slider down here, and we can do the same for Monty over here. We probably want to make him a bit less aggressive as well, and then probably go all in on aggressiveness on our warrior here with the sparking sword. So let's do that, and they can automatically use traits. That's the auto system. I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought there was a very unique way to do an auto system where it still makes sense to be active and, you know, control the gameplay, but it's just, instead of using cards manually, they are used automatically. I think that's a nice way to add some strategic layer to an auto system, because, as I said, I do understand that games try to appeal to a broad audience, and thus they introduce auto systems. I personally don't use the auto system in this game because the combat is really interesting, and there's thus no real need to use the auto systems. The way I see it is that some games have auto systems because they know that people would get bored with the normal combat in those games, but in this game the combat is actually quite enjoyable. At least I'm having a lot of fun with the combat in this game. But now for what I dislike about the game, which is that, yes, as you guys might have noticed, some of you guys might have, there is an energy system in this game. Do we like energy systems? Let me hear it, guys. Do we like energy systems? No, we don't. We don't like energy systems. I hate energy systems, right? But we do have that here. I haven't been limited by it so far, but I'm very, very sure, sadly, that later on we will start getting limited by these energy systems here. It's just so sad. It really makes me sad to see energy systems in a game, because it means that the game is probably gonna drag out and be very grindy later on, or at least it'll take a very long time to grind the items and the cards that we wanna get later on. And that's just kind of unfortunate. But I do at the same time get that it helps make the playability of the game longer, so that people will keep coming back to the game for longer periods of time, and that means that there's a bigger chance that people will start spending money on the game. From a consumer's perspective, though, I don't really like the system. From a game developer standpoint, I do understand why it's in there. But apart from that, though, there's very little that I dislike about this game. It's a game about collecting cards, so obviously there is some grinding involved, unless you buy premium card packs, which you of course can do. I won't be doing that. I'll just be playing the game for free, because I think for the single player part, there's multiplayer as well, by the way, but for the single player part of the game, you don't really need to spend any money at all, and I don't personally feel limited by what the game offers at this point as a free player. But now for the mobile gaming fact of the day, guys, which is that Toon Blast, you know, right? You know Toon Blast, right? You know that game that you keep seeing an ad for over and over and over and over and over again in like literally every single mobile game these days. Well, that game has now generated $200 million in its first year on the market. That is impressive, especially considering that it's basically Candy Crush. That is the core gameplay of the game. It's basically just Candy Crush. I'm probably not being completely fair to the game, because I'm sure that there are some differentiating factors of that versus Candy Crush, but at the end of the day, they are targeting the same audience at the very least. And it's just interesting to see that a new game can come onto the market at this point, here in 2018, and earn $200 million on those types of games. I do expect that they've spent a lot of cash on user acquisition, though. So I don't think that they've earned $200 million, but it's just they've generated that. That's the amount that has been spent on in-app purchases and, I guess, revenue from showing advertisements. But with that said, thank you so much for sticking around till the end of this video, guys. We're gonna end it off here before we fail badly at this level here. I think we're definitely gonna fail this one. So you guys won't get to see that, because we're gonna end it off now. But I want to thank you for sticking around till the end of this video. Be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.